Want to know the fastest way to ruin a project? Ask for more options. Not because options are bad, but because of why you're asking for them. Almost every client I've ever worked with has said some version of, "Can we see a few more options?" And on the surface, it sounds completely reasonable. You want to make the right choices, you want to make sure you're not missing something, and you don't want to regret it later. But what happens is that over and over again, the options that we introduce make the project more muddy. The outcomes become less and less clear. So, let me explain what's actually going on with more options because it's probably not what you think. You're not asking for more options because you want them. You're asking because you want to protect yourself from making a bad decision. And that is completely fair. You're wondering to yourself, what if there's a better option out there? What if I didn't see it? So you keep the decision open. But here's the problem: every new option adds another layer of confusion and a selection that needs to be made. And it ultimately leads to doubt. If I show you three flooring options, a carpet tile, LVP, and polished concrete, most people will say, "Could I see a few more options?" Typically, not the option itself, the type of flooring material, but they want to see more colors. They want to see different patterns. And they're not asking for those options because none of those initial selections weren't bad. It's because there was no way to evaluate them, to decide what actually matters to solve a problem that you are having within your office space. So, do any of those options help with durability, acoustics, maintenance, cost over the lifetime of the product? If that's not defined first, then every option could be the perfect option, and that just leads to confusion and frustration for everybody involved in the project. And this is where it starts to fall apart. You have people wanting a little bit of option A and a little bit of option B and ignoring option C entirely, but wanting to see an alternate to option C. And instead of clear direction, you get more and more frustrated and further away from a good solution for your project. And that's how you end up with a project that looks good, but still doesn't fit what you needed it to fit. So, you don't really want more options. What you want is to feel confident in the right decision. And that's not the same thing. I once worked with a client, and every time that we met, it was a 3 hour long meeting. The first hour was spent listening to all of his new ideas that he came up with, discovered, and wanted to implement since our last meeting. And then the second hour was spent talking him out of those ideas because they weren't going to work based on previous selections that had been decided and implemented. And so we couldn't change it anymore. And then finally, the third hour, we were able to talk about the things that we actually had to talk about. And every meeting was like this. And what he didn't see is that after those meetings, I went back and I had to spend additional time making new selections, asking questions of reps, finding out if something would work or not, and then only to have it be nixed or just not went with. It was a huge time suck and something that didn't have to happen if the project had had clear parameters for what each of those finishes needed to do. And it's not that what he wanted to do was bad. It's just that it was done way too far into the project to be able to be doing those that kind of brainstorming anymore. That phase had ended, and again, it was just another layer of confusion and frustration, and it was a waste of time and money. So, confidence isn't going to come from seeing everything. It's going to come from knowing what matters, what doesn't, and what options out there that fit that criteria. The best projects I ever worked on had that clear list and weren't bogged down by option after option after option. So, let's go back to the flooring. If we decide that it's a high traffic area and noise is a huge issue and maintenance needs to be low, the polished concrete is not going to be the right solution. The carpet could be a good solution. However, I'd probably go with the LVP only because many of those solid surfaces do have acoustic properties to them. And that would be my preferred direction because then you can clean them quite easily if there's a spill and other maintenance issues. You can also support the acoustics in other ways in the space. So it's not that the flooring has to 100% solve that problem, but LVT is probably the way that I would suggest a client goes. And then now that that has been selected, now it's easy to go and finalize the color and the pattern that'll be selected. And that's an example of how knowing what the criteria is going to make for a simpler, easier solution to be identified. And then, of course, ordered and specified. If you're at the beginning of a project and you are having these issues, I made a checklist that I'm going to link in the description box below that you can download and work through and help bring some clarity to those elements that you're going to need to be selecting with your design partner. And it's really helpful to be able to hand that to your design partner and say, this is what we've identified. And then they can really fine tune it and make sure that the selections and the solution is an appropriate fit to your project. Because options don't mean a better result, better decisions do. And that's how you get an office that's designed to work.